What up, guys? Welcome to Strength Out of Struggle, aka Fit Life with Mika Stefano. Today, I have a very special friend of mine, known him for a lot of years, but this is somebody that has changed their lives, so epitomizes the story, Strength Out of Struggle. Please welcome influencer, talented fitness, wellness, personality, and much, much more, Mr. Mika Stefano.
How are you?
Tekanis.
Yeah, Opa.
Opa.
Baklava. That's all I know what to say.
So the thing is, this is episode 3.
Lucky number 3.
And one of the main reasons why I wanted to have you on the show is because I share part of your journey. And we'll get into that. But what I want to go straight back to is your upbringing when you were young. Did wellness or fitness play any part in your lifestyle when you were younger?
So growing up, I grew up with my mother in Berea, Yeovil, and
when it was pumping.
Well, I'm not that old. Maybe just a little bit more.
That was nice. It was
okay.
It was like Melville Parkhurst back then.
I remember going with my mother. Maybe I shouldn't say this, to Rocky Street, and there was like
Rocky Street,
little vibe,
Rockefeller
restaurants and whatever.
Yes.
But yeah, fitness really didn't arrive into my life, into my vocabulary, maybe until I was 25, 26, much later on in life. Yeah, I don't even know, but much later on in life.
So you started off, what was your first influences that you can remember? Was more entertainment? What did you want to be? What is the first memory that you had about what you wanted to do?
So it's funny. So I look back at adverts and not adverts, I'd like photo albums and I've did lots of adverts as a child. So I was always like on TV. I did like 1 or 2 adverts, which were international adverts. These little magazines, when they still had magazines, not digital, they had like cute little kids modeling the clothes at Woolworths or Edgar's.
With your curly hair.
That was me. So I think maybe that idea of being in front of the camera or just being a little bit known for being myself was always there. And then after primary school and during high school, I kind of was like, I went to the National School of Arts and studied theatre. And then I was like, okay, I really want to get into this. But at the same time, you would see people on TV and they'd be like, oh, that's Barker Haynes, or oh, that's Sherelle de Villiers. And I wanted to be, oh, that's Mika Stefano, not a character on Generations or Isidingo. So I think with that in my mind, maybe when I entered into the real world after school, that kind of almost developed in becoming Mika Stefano and being an opinionated kind of outspoken personality on TV, on radio, and known for being Mika Stefano.
I mean, were you always outspoken, or did you create this? Like we were talking about this last week in my last episode. I grew up shy and almost created this enigma, this other part to protect myself called Kaz. Were you always outspoken, or did you also have different personalities going?
I think like my mother reminded me when I was younger, like I would always be that outspoken little child. Taking a bus to school, I'd always be like asking questions and everyone would be like, oh, this child is speaking so much. And she's like, no, let him ask the questions, just let him chat, whatever. So I was always someone who was outspoken, inquisitive about things. And I think now as I've grown up, it's almost been like the reverse of like maybe even developing that Mika Stefano character. And then I know, okay, that's almost a character now. Okay, Mika Stefano, hey. Mm-hmm. But the real Mika is a lot more reserved, a lot more calculated, almost cautious with lots of things. And even as we chat, maybe we'll find out like I've been quite cautious with certain things that I've gotten into and whatever. So you would think Mika Stefano, outspoken, carefree, just all out there. Yeah. But over time, maybe I've developed a kind of character of, okay, that in the reverse of you, Mika Stefano is a character or a persona, and then the real me just likes to be home on a Saturday night, chilling kind of thing, not out at the streets and whatnot. So
I think I was lucky to have met you as the real Mika Stefano, because I had grown up on TV and then I stepped away and I had a family and I went to study fitness because it was always part of my lifestyle, but I wanted to make it, I wanted to do something. I didn't want to be a celebrity that just trained people and use my celebrity power to get clients. I wanted to actually get my credentials. I went behind the scenes and earned my stripes, so to speak. And we'll go to the time when I met you. So basically, we were at Planet Fitness, and I saw you walking around, and you were very overweight. But I noticed there was a shyness and there was an insecurity. I didn't know. I hadn't met you before. I didn't even know who you were because I hadn't been watching TV. And the one day you walked by and you came down the stairs and like, hi, how you doing? I was like, what's happening? I see you walking. That's not going to do anything for you. And you said you just have an operation and stuff like that. Let's go to that and then we'll talk about what happened after that. So you said you had an operation and you're trying to get fit. What happened there?
So
how did your lifestyle get you to the point where there were problems?
So fitness was never something that was even in my vocab. I never really spoke about. And then I was really quite comfortable in my skin. I was comfortable for who I was, and it was never an issue of, I need to lose weight or anything like that. It was more coming back from Brazil. This is the story. Coming back from Brazil, first time traveling overseas, and as I landed at the airport, customs stopped me. They let the whole plane go through except Mika Stefano. And it was an 8-hour flight. I had sunglasses on. It was 7 a.m. I was exhausted. And they're like, there's something wrong with you. We suspect you're a drug mule. And I was like,
oh, shit.
Say what? But at this time, I'm exhausted. I'm like, okay, I'm not even going to, whatever. Let's search my bags, go through my stuff, and get undressed in a little room, search me. They still suspect me. They're like, no, there's still something up here. Up here. They still think that there's something suspicious. So they're like, we need to take you to the hospital. So there I'm like, okay, now it's a little bit concerning.
So they're going to check if you had swallowed stuff.
Exactly. I know. I didn't swallow anything like that. Maybe I was in Brazil. But and then I was like, okay, fine. Let's just go to the hospital and check. I'm messaging the parents and I'm like, okay, this is what's up. Go to the hospital, Kempton Park Hospital, because it's close to the airport. And then they did one of the scans, and they're like, no, there's something there. We need to do the CAT scan into the tube. So there I'm like, okay, wow, this is serious. Into the tube I go. And then they say, okay, there's nothing there in terms of drugs, but you do have kidney stones. And I was like, okay, well, thanks for the free diagnosis.
Wow.
Now I know. So that's how I found out that I had kidney stones. And it kind of made sense, like, while I was away and maybe I thought sitting on an 8-hour flight, my lower back is sore, whatever. But it was obviously the kidney stones. And that's when they were like, okay, you got kidney stones. And I was like, okay, I need to sort this out. And that's how my entrance into the fitness world began.
So that's when I met you.
That's when you met me.
And then I'm like, so what's up? And you're like, I got kidney stones. And I just realized that I got to change my life. You told me you've been drinking like a liter of Coke a day. So how much Coke were you drinking a day?
2.5.
So what is your lifestyle that year before I met you? What were you consuming?
You know how it is in the entertainment industry.
Rock and roll.
You're going out to events, so there's food on platters going around. You're out at dinners, whatever. So there was never anything of like conscious eating, knowing what I'm consuming. It was just like, okay, this is good. Let's have a vibe. And I never really drank, but still to go out and you're having Coke or you're having a burger or you're just eating unhealthy. So that's how my lifestyle was before. And like I said, I was always confident in my skin. Fitness was never, or losing weight was never anything about like, I need to do it now.
Your mom gave you this natural self-love. I just want to shout out your mom because that's what I'm getting from the beginning. You weren't, you didn't have an issue about how you looked. You felt good. And your mom implanted that because she told you, speak, be yourself.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, and I think that's something that's maybe even continued with me up until this day. But yeah, it was like, I now need to get healthy.
So this is when I see you and I said, okay, let me help you.
And then you helped me.
Yeah. But you were more like, okay, so how are we going to do this? Because I'm in a situation like blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I said, this is the time you come. I've got a bunch of amazing ladies that I train, a group of people. At that point, because I came from the entertainment industry and as a choreographer, I was used to working with
Multiple
groups,
fitness levels.
and I actually loved working with different people
Mm.
because I got a thrill out of, okay, you do a count of 8 there, you there, you doing this.
Mm.
But I just felt that you would connect with them. So I was like, why don't you come and try this session and see if you enjoy it?
Uh-huh.
And if you do, let's take it from there. I promise you I can help you.
And that you did.
No. Let's talk about then and what happened after, because there's amazing things that happen afterwards. So how long were you there at Planet Fitness doing the class? And you brought this sense of joy as well, because at first you were feeling sick, but after a while when things started clicking over.
I think with anyone's fitness journey, as soon as you start noticing, okay, waking up at 4 a.m., or we never woke up at 4 a.m., but like maybe a little bit later, but waking up early in the morning and schlepping here and changing your habits and putting in the work and putting in the effort, when you see those results and you see, okay, I'm not doing it just because I'm doing it, but there's actually a reward at the end of the day, then it makes it meaningful and it makes it like, okay, let's continue. And I think through that process of seeing the change and seeing what my hard work put out, it kind of made me fall in love with fitness.
Let's talk about the specific things that you changed. So you did the exercise. I think you came to me and you went to Sweat 1000. Food-wise, did you go to a nutritionist? What were all the elements that helped you? Because it was you that did the change. We just assisted you as a team. What else did you do?
It's so funny. So we were having this conversation at the beginning of my journey, and you were like, okay, Mika, you need to eat oats. And I've come from eating Cocoa Pops and frosted.
Yeah, you told me. Basically, we didn't change the diet a bit.
So I'm like, oats? Only poor people eat oats.
Yeah.
And then you said, but poor people are thin. And then I was like, okay, well, then I'm going to start eating oats.
I would have said that.
Okay. Get myself some jungle. So stop the Cocoa Pops and stopped eating unhealthy. And many people think also, like, when you start when you're on the fitness journey, you need to eat less. And if anything, it was really quite the opposite in terms of like,
you speed up your metabolism.
Yeah. So I was out here eating lots of meals. Some of them I'd almost be like force feeding myself. Some of them I'm like close to tears, like, oh my gosh, I have to eat this fourth meal. I'm done, kind of thing. But obviously, those are the things that you need to do to change your lifestyle.
So let's educate the viewer on what they would be. So let's just say you're going from one meal to 3, 4, even 5 meals a day, guys.
Yeah.
You're changing your calorie intake. You're eating clean now. You're eating stuff like chicken breasts, clean meat, fish, stuff that's more grilled than fried. You're adding vegetables and fiber and
brown
that type
rice
of stuff.
instead of white.
You're trying to cut down your sugar. You're lowering your carbohydrate intake, especially 800 a day. What we did was, by him having more meals, that sped up his metabolism, because you were used to eating like either once or twice a day, but you just eat and move along. And normally sometimes before bedtime, you'd have a big meal.
Yeah.
So that started speeding up your metabolism. And how much weight did you lose?
So I think within my fitness journey, it was maybe over about 30 kgs. Yeah. So, and that's when it became rewarding. When you start losing the weight, you start seeing, okay, this is worth it. And
you literally went from walking like this around that track to
mincing.
like, my God, guys, today's this day, outfit for the day. And then the girls also got enthused. Everyone got enthused by this vibe. And that was amazing. And then you took that, and that inspired something else, because now I'm going to go into your journey after that. So now you're in shape, you're looking good, you're feeling good. What gets inspired within you now? So this is the new Mika.
So I was still on TV every now and then, on radio, and many people would invite me onto radio, onto TV, and they'll be like, oh, do you want to talk about your fitness journey? And for me, obviously I'd want to go chat about my fitness journey, but it was my fitness journey. So what worked for me may not work for someone else. So I thought, okay, maybe it's good to actually educate myself slightly, because I've fallen in love with this process of fitness. And if anyone were to have me on a radio show or on a TV show, I want
to know what you're saying.
Exactly. Or have it just some better idea. Not just say this is what worked for me, but also say this is what could work for you. And then I started a course, or I studied with Focus Fitness Academy, and I studied a few courses: basic exercise science, group fitness, I can't even remember, but yes, and
Yeah.
did a few courses with Trifocus, and then I was like, okay, I'm enjoying this, and that's how I started teaching at Sweat 1000. Sweat 1000 hadn't opened yet, but I did the Sweat 1000 trainers course, and then I was like, okay, I enjoy this. I enjoy the idea of sharing what I know with other people to hopefully inspire them to start their fitness
And what I
journey.
love about that is I remember when I'd gotten back from overseas and seen that they were doing Tabatas and hit there. When I got back to South Africa, the trainers were all on that old school, train you for an hour. You train and you sit and talk for an hour. And I was I'm not saying I'm the only one, but there were only a few people doing interval training that had studied Tabata.
Yeah.
And I got hooked on Robert Tabata, the scientist, and all the studies showing what he did with the speed skaters in the Olympics. So what we would do is a lot of intervals. And then when Sweat came out, there was a similar type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And what we noticed with this type of training, guys, if you haven't tried HIIT, is it speeds up your metabolism for up to 48 hours. It also has this extra thing where it releases DHEA, which is the happy hormone in your system. So it's like a natural antidepressant. What I love about your journey is we talked about the fact that when I'm done with you, you're going to be able to train people. I always tell all my clients, you'll be able to train trainers. I even say to you guys, check form. I always tell you, check form, check how you're doing. And I'm a ponce with that because I want to make sure that you're doing it right. What I love is that you went and got educated. Guys, be careful when you are with a trainer. Make sure they're certified. It's okay to say, are you certified? Where did you study? There's too many buskers out there. And if you get hurt, you're in big trouble.
Yeah.
So you got certified, which means you went from someone that was really well known and you took it seriously, which means you're respecting the game. And that's when the game respects you. After that, so you're doing the Sweat 1000, along comes this opportunity for you to be a partner in this amazing gym. Let's talk about how that all evolved.
So Sweat 1000, I was there I think for maybe 3-4 years, and then COVID happened. And even before
COVID happened, bro.
But honestly, for me, COVID was a blessing. And
for me in a way as well, but I don't know how this, but yeah.
Yes. You need to, I think, always look at the glass half full, even if it's half empty. Always win, even when you're losing.
Be like water, man.
So COVID happened, and many of the clients who I'd regularly train, we switched to going online.
Yes.
And everyone went online, but I think maybe I was quite lucky because I went online pretty soon into COVID. So I had a large following of people who were doing my online sessions. I was doing maybe 3-4 sessions a day.
And now you had, this is when the personality came in. All those years that you're on the screen, that you thought, okay, that's all worth. Now that came together.
Exactly. So every morning I'd wake up and I'd redo the lounge and then set up my TV, and the laptop will be above the TV so I can see everyone. And that happened for throughout COVID. And then during COVID, I knew the guys from Move Motion Fitness.
Yes.
They own some venues in Johannesburg, South in Soweto called Zone 6. And they knew me. I went to go visit the Sunning Hill branch.
Yes.
And one of the owners said, "Oh, Mika, how are you?" And I was like, "Okay, I'm fine. How are you?"
Yes.
And then he was like, "Oh, we've worked together at Zone 6." And I was like, "Oh,
that
wow.
That was a nice place.
Yeah, that was very nice." So I was like, "Okay, nice to meet you." And then we just started talking.
Yeah.
And I think from there, then the idea, then we knew that Melrose Arch was opening, but there wasn't any HIIT studio plan for it yet. So we got into conversations about having a HIIT studio in Melrose Arch, and now 4 years later, we're here, strong.
Now, this is incredible. So for someone that was a part of you at the beginning of your journey, it's like you see your baby walking, right? I mean, you got to see. I'm sure you've seen now people that you've helped that are now making you proud.
It's so rewarding. Even just for me, like sometimes, and you get this.
How do you feel? Because then you know how I feel.
It's not even the long-term goal. For me, it's the immediate satisfaction of sometimes you have to be like, oh, I have to wake up. I just want to sleep in. It's a winter morning. Oh my gosh. And then you're in that moment, for me, teaching a group class, and you see someone do one extra push-up, or you see, okay, they're not going to do a modified push-up, they're going to do a push-up on their toes and attempt to do something a little bit more.
Step.
Just
step.
those little things make it so much more rewarding. Sure, the big things that they may achieve are great, but even just seeing those small steps that they're taking in terms of bettering themselves makes waking up in the morning worth it.
The journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step, and when we take that step in faith and belief, it's inevitable that success is going to come knocking.
Exactly.
So now you run in the studio, and by the way, this gym is amazing. I've even moved a lot of my stuff to Move Motion. So shout out Move, a sexy gym. They put together something unique, from the equipment to
Everything
the lighting.
is state of the art,
It's
fresh
like
and new.
The vibe is amazing,
Yeah.
and so you're there at Move now. Now, the next step. Now we want to go to the next part of your chapter where you're opening up the promo company now.
Yes.
This is where you're at now. You're expanding.
So
where are you now? What are you up to?
So maybe even before that, let's get into like that whole idea. And someone was asking me, Mika, you own a fitness studio, but you're not lean, you're not ripped. And I was like, okay, it's a little bit rude, but actually that is what I'm trying to push, that it's not about aesthetics, it's not about how lean or how much weight you've lost.
But you're doing your best.
And it's about being the healthiest version of yourself.
Exactly.
And
they don't know where you came from,
exactly.
Bro. This is super ripped, like compared to where you came from. And to find a point of balance, which is what we want to get people to.
And that's what I try and inspire at the studio, making sure people feel like, okay, they don't have to be on the cover of a magazine, on a beach in a bikini, whatever.
Yeah.
They just need to be their best version of themselves.
Amen.
And I think over the last few years, there's a nice community here at Strong where people just feel like, and so many people come to me after class and they say, they're here not because of training, but they're here for their mental health.
It's a village.
And that's what you just spoke about now,
Yes.
in terms of you doing it for being a better person and being your best version. And
Exactly.
I think that's something moving forward I would always want to push. That sure it's great to be lean and ripped and to have abs and biceps and whatever, but actually you just want to be healthy. And for the end of the day, most people who are on a fitness journey, they just want to be able to have a balanced, well-led lifestyle.
I think a lot of people don't understand there's a difference between just aesthetically or being fit or physically in shape. That's wellness has 7 different dimensions, everything from emotional to intellectual to social to occupational to even environmental. And that was one of the main reasons why I started training as a young person. Losing dad, growing up poor, always having this depressive thing around you and not knowing that hormonally I had been affected by all these traumas. You go through abuse, you get beaten up, all these things, running from bullies, PTSD. But what we did have growing up was we had games. We'd play soccer, we'd play basketball, and I found dance and martial arts. And that was helping me, but I didn't even know it was helping me because sports side effects, moving, is that antidepressant.
Endorphins.
So the more and more I found out about it, the more I wanted to share it with people that were going through the same things as me. Not everyone is balanced.
Yeah.
Some people have hormonal differences. Some people have got big holes in their hearts. A lot of people have got a story, hence strength out of struggle. A lot of people are going through pain, especially when you're an individual. And fitness is a gateway into getting the discipline, getting the consistency right. And then all the other things that triggered in mental wellness comes, and emotional wellness, financial wellness. All these things are added to it, and that's the benefit of this. I wanted to ask you, when you were young, because you're a very unique individual, when did you decide this? I ain't not about normal. I'm just not like the rest. I'm unique, as far as the individual that you are, because it takes courage to be bold and stand up for who you are.
So I think the moment I knew I was gay, it was my 3rd birthday.
Third.
There were 3 birthday cakes to pick from.
Okay.
There was the princess birthday cake.
Yes.
There was the soccer player birthday cake.
Yes.
And then the little train birthday cake.
Okay.
And obviously I picked the pink princess one.
Barbie.
And then they were like, no, let's at least go with the pony. It's neutral. And not the pony, the train. The little train. It's neutral. So, no. I think I knew from a young age. And like you said earlier on, my mother was always that very supportive.
Yes.
It came as a shock to her and my father that I was gay. But I think it was something that they almost saw coming. And they knew that I was a little bit different. And I think I was fortunate enough to always have family support in terms of who I am and having people support me for who I was. And I think from a young age, growing
blessed
up,
with that, eh?
exactly, really, really blessed with that. Went to King Edward Primary School, and obviously there I knew, okay, I'm the odd one out. And then when I went to National School of Arts, it was almost like, okay, now
that was a
found
bit more
my place.
comfortable.
Yes.
Yeah. Why I ask all these things? Because as a parent that's also raised, I've got a bunch of kids, as you know, and I could tell. You could just, as a parent, you can tell if one of your children is like let's say I bought my daughter a doll, and that doll ended up in the pool, and she wanted to pull a train connected to a kung fu belt. Do you know what I'm saying? You start noticing things when a child is young, you know. But the most important thing I can tell any parent is keep your child close. It's more important that your child is a decent human being than what their sexual preference is. There's a lot of people that are straight that are killing everyone.
Exactly.
We want people to be loving and respectful out there.
I think those thoughts were something that my mother echoed, like, you can't judge a person's personality by their sexuality. Yeah. Like you said, there are criminals, there are people out there who are really awful people, but their sexuality is different to mine. Yeah. So really that should be what happens in the bedroom is completely separate to what classifies your personality or your values.
I think I was lucky in that I'm mixed, first of all, and also that because I grew up in the entertainment industry where there's a lot of gay people, straight people, but I was able to have friends of all kinds, and I just saw everyone is who they are. And so I think now when I'm focusing on just being the training and the coaching, there's a lot of people that are this way, but I'm allowed to identify with anyone because I don't see color, I don't see sexual preference, but I do see if you're an asshole. You know? And all I'm here to do is bring people together under one creator, one love, and that's the whole plan. I want to talk about where you're at right now and what your hopes are for the future. Who's Mika now? And so look down 5 years down the line.
So from the gym Strong, one of my trainers, Harki, we decided, okay, let's join forces. So whilst being on my fitness journey, I've been at the Theatre on the Square in Sandton doing marketing.
Let's talk about that.
Been there for maybe 18, 19 years.
Running the theatre,
literally
lots of amazing productions there.
Lots of amazing shows. So I've been there doing the marketing for the theatre, and marketing is always something that has been something that's close to me and I really enjoy. And one of the trainers at the gym, Harki, has been in the events industry. And he was like randomly, maybe before one of his classes, he's like, let's maybe join forces and start something new. And then I joked and I was like, yes, we can call it Strong PR. And that's the name of the company that we called. And it's almost similar, learning from the gym Strong, just being the best versions of ourselves, allowing people to really amplify what's good for them. So if we're doing a marketing campaign or working on an event, we're really just trying to make it really, really fresh, enhance what they're already working on. So we've started a company called Strong PR Marketing and Events. We do big corporate events, we do marketing campaigns, we did the whole digital social media campaign for MTV Sugar. We've got a nice few big corporate clients, some car launches that we've done this year. So some really nice clients that we've worked with and we've gained over the last 3 years. And from that, We've had smaller companies opening underneath Strong PR Marketing Events. We've got Strong Events Decor, which is a events decor hiring company.
Nice things to plug in.
Exactly. Being our own supplier and working together with our own team. We did a nice campaign at the Rosebank, the Zone here in Joburg for Valentine's Day with roses and flowers all over. We've also got a company which we've launched called Strong Coffee. And Strong Coffee is an mobile event coffee solution. So we'll go to an event. For our events, as well as other events, we would set up our coffee station. The idea with that, maybe it's a little bit shallow, but to have really nice, friendly, good-looking baristas helping people. So it's a nice service-driven coffee solution. Sometimes you want to go grab a coffee and then the person helping you is just sluggish and depressed. Our idea is to share joy, to share confidence in a cup. So once again, kind of learning into what the gym is about and what we're about, both Harky and I, in just being vibrant and sharing positive vibes, positive energy. And then we've got Strong Media, also another company. And this sounds like an advert.
Well, I mean, see where we started from. It's all part of your story. And that's what we're here to talk about. You gained strength through the struggle.
Exactly.
Through finding out who you are and how you can cater and how the best version of you, everyone, the best version of you can spill over and make somebody else better. Just by being there, by doing you.
By doing you, being 100% authentic, being you. And that's kind of the new space that I'm moving into with all these businesses and learning a little bit more about how to be a business person. But in the same idea, I think it's 2025 and a business person doesn't have to be playing golf and going into boardrooms. They can have tattoos, they can have sneakers and wear shorts. Exactly.
Here we are.
So shaking it up and making people aware that pushing the stereotype and just really pushing the envelope.
I mean, we got Pharrell at LV. Leave it. I mean,
Exactly.
Started out with nerd. I mean, it's like anything is possible. And for us people that were inspired and they try to keep us in our boxes, no, you can only do TV. No, guys, you can't be an actor, TV, and a trainer.
Yeah.
Now look where we are. Now we can. We can be all.
Exactly.
As long as it's an extension authentically of who you are. Like this connects to the fitness, connects to the wellness journey. We always talked about one day collaborating. I was talking to you about the events back in the day.
Long ago.
That time you weren't ready. You were still you said, I'm just getting my own journey on but now it's time for us to all work together.
I think, like you said, it's about knowing when you're ready for the right thing. When I was younger and I was on TV, Sashi Naidu was like, oh, Mika, you should do my PR. You should have your own PR agency. Back then I wasn't ready. And now things have changed and you learn things about yourself, or sometimes you just have to not pause it, but just wait until you're fully ready for that part of the journey.
A wise man once said to know thine own self, then you can be true. If you love yourself, shadows and all, and accept yourself, then you can carry that into the world and it overflows. Before we go, I want to talk about what the fit life is to you, the definition, and how you want to instill that in your life going forward.
So I hope we picked it up throughout the interview. It's just about being your 100% authentic self, being the best version of yourself, dispelling kind of ideas of this is how you should be, or this is what you should look like, or this is how you should act, and just being you, authentically you. Because that's really what sets you apart. You don't want to be a photocopy of someone else. You want to be you. So just be you with everything you do. Push the envelope. Try challenge what people know. But at the same time, be yourself.
Yes. Mika, this whole show is about giving people their flowers before it's too late. I want to give you your flowers.
Thank you.
Here in person. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate you and I'm really proud of your journey.
And thank you for being one of the instigators, one of the people who set me on this journey.
I'm blessed to have done that for you because I see you doing that for others. It's all part of the paid forward. You're providing employment for young people out there. I see the energy in your classes. I'm coming next week. Well, as soon as my shoulder's better. But the most important thing is I see people there that you've helped and they're going to help others and so on and so forth. May you go from greatness to greatness and be abundantly blessed.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Guys, from Mika, myself, we'd like to say keep reaching for the stars. Never give up on your dream. Be the best that you can be. You never know who's watching you. Peace.